Hey everybody, and welcome to Titus chapter 3, a continuation of our devotionals through Titus chapter 3. We're going to be in verses 9 through 11 today, but I'm going to read you 8 through 11, and we're going to do it in a couple of different translations so that we get a full understanding of the text. Paul says this is a trustworthy statement, and concerning these things I want you to speak confidently, so that those who have believed God will be careful to engage in good deeds. These things are good and profitable for men. But avoid foolish controversies and genealogies and strife and disputes about the law, for they are unprofitable and worthless. Reject a quarrelsome man after a first and second warning, knowing that such a man is perverted and is sinning, being self-condemned. Now in the Message translation. He says, I want you to put your foot down. Take a firm stand on these matters so that those who have put their trust in God will concentrate on the essentials that are good for everyone. Stay away from mindless, pointless quarreling over genealogies and fine print in the law code. That gets you nowhere. Warn a quarrelsome person once or twice, but then be done with him. It's obvious that such a person is out of line, rebellious against God. By persisting in divisiveness, he cuts himself off. So what Paul is not referring to here is someone that can push the envelope for justice or understanding or education. Paul's not saying you should remove everyone out of your life that doesn't think exactly like you do, that doesn't have your exact same worldview, but he is rejecting the idea that we constantly allow someone to speak up and into our lives that simply just wants to create chaos and confusion. Instead, we should allow ourselves to hear those voices a couple times, but once we realize, and maybe we're this voice sometimes too, once we realize the whole goal isn't for something to actually be accomplished. It's not actually for us to be able to get somewhere and learn something and love someone. Then instead, the goal is to simply just play the devil's advocate for everything, to be on the opposite side, to create arguments and dissent so that the attention might be turned from Jesus and an opportunity to love and care for people, and that it might be turned on themselves. So I want you to think about this in a couple ways. First of all, I want you to think about your own relationships. Are there some relationships in your life that you have allowed to continue to go on even though they are clearly unhealthy? The fruit of that happens in, you have anxiety about spending time with someone or a certain group of people, maybe because they behave in this type of way. And then I want you to ask yourself, am I this person? Or all the arguments that I make and all the things that I really stand up for, do they represent the main thing, the goal and the mission of Jesus, the life and love that he represents? Because I really believe that Paul, of course, he's done this himself. He wants us to stand up and fight for what is truly justice. He wants us to fight for what is truly love. But even more than that, he wants us to leave behind the things that are not. Cease our arguments about them and instead spend our time and focus all of our attention on Jesus.